All right, morning, everyone. All right, today is the big day. What you've been waiting for. He's supposed to talk in about 30 minutes. Expectation is he will probably be talking for about 8 minutes or so. And after that, all hell's going to break loose. So, the spy is currently in a 10-point range group. Low point 629, high point 640. We have a lot, and I mean a lot of money that's came in last night with the ES. And we are trading above all of the cash right now. Trading above all of the dark pool levels right now. So right now, point of least resistance is to the long side, at least until Powell talks. So be real careful. Remember, first move is usually the wrong move after we start getting this little whipsaw. We should have a good solid settling in flow of traffic today off of this. So don't worry about being the first guy out of the gate to get his head shot off, because there's going to be plenty of time today, I think, for you to be making money. Key factor is where we're standing right now is we are above everything. So we want a good equilibrium right now, 6,400. You can just use it as over under right now for ES levels. We're at least $2.50 above all of the data flow coming in from the SPY at this point. So this is where I kind of wanted to be at going into the close yesterday, and they just took all freaking night to get here over on an overnight session. So here we are. So let's see what he actually says. Let's see if he's going to be dovish or he's going to be hawkish off of his commentary and stuff. Morning. How'd your doctor think? Well, my grandfather always told me if you feel the doctor put his hand on your shoulder and then you feel another hand on the other shoulder, but then you feel something being poked around, you better watch out. All right, coming up to the signature prints from yesterday's transaction stuff. So consider us kind of in a box range. Really, honestly, guys, the way things look like is that we're going to get a hell of a mood today, but we're in a box. We have like a limitation how far we're going to go up, and we have a limitation how far we can go down. So overall, let me pull over here to the standard deviations. Got setting in here. First standard deviations down here, it's 633.43. We get a drop. I honestly don't expect that to hold. I expect that to be compromised. The big area that we're kind of looking at right now is this down here at 29 and 39. So I'm kind of thinking they're trying to drive us up here to 39, and then they're going to potentially turn us back around and slam us down towards 29. Would not surprise me at this point. So just because we're trading above the signatures coming in today, just because we're trading above all the blocks coming in today, does not guarantee that we will stay in a long bias all day. So I want to see us slam up in here. We get up to 29 and a quarter, start locking in, see how it handles itself. If it starts showing weakness, get the hell out because then you're starting to look for the reversion. If we see some strength that starts pushing us up towards the signal print that we got up here in the 40.02, then that's good enough to kind of continue the climb to go up higher to these higher levels at this point. So right now you want to stay bullish just because we're trading above the cash inside the dark pools. We're trading above the cash on the ES side. The ES side primary flow of the majority of the block. I mean, huge blocks coming through is at 630, 63.99 and a half, but we also have equal right at 63.90, which we had a repeat of 63.90 yesterday also. So 2 days accumulation at 90. And so we're basically have this massive amount of blocks have come through last night inside of, I guess you could say, between 60 um 6402 all the way down to 6385, but the majority of it being between 6400 flat and 6490, that 10 handle range is where the majority of the cash is really built up hard. So this is why we're looking for a continuation push up here. Like I said, I'd like to see if they can actually get us all the way up here, maybe even before he speaks. We may get lucky enough to actually tap that area and then turn it back around and see if we get a flash crash. Pullback ratio, I'd like to see on the lower end is dumped down to about 6360 to start with. If we wind up getting that actual reversion after he starts speaking. So Qs are not playing today. We haven't got any data points since pretty close to the close of yesterday. Nothing through the pre-market session, kind of trading inside the price ranges they were trading yesterday at on the NQs. Let's see if we got anything new on. I'm sure there's something. No, we got no new ACOs. I'm surprised. Usually we at least get one out of the gate. We didn't get anything out of the gate here. So last transaction we got was late last night. Oh no, take it back. We got one late last night. One. So that would be these two transactions right here. We're hitting the closing session from yesterday. Last one that came through on yesterday's traffic. That ain't right. This is wrong. Maybe I didn't update that. That's from previous day. So forget about that one. That one should be 385. That was the close at. So that should be way down below where we're at. Yeah, I didn't change the date. That's why it's screwed. There's an automatic way of doing this. I had to manual. Okay. Let's see what we have for our money zones this morning session. We should have some data points coming on that already. Got some flow going on. I'll get ready to locking in up here. Like I said, this push, it's see where our money zone is this morning on that too. Could be our topping range right there. Instead, today they've given us more of a good sign for us being bi-directional than directional today, and that's why I kind of feel like we could be getting a top up here, and then we just see a crash when he starts talking shit. All right, get ready to start locking in up here. This is a push that we're looking for. Now let's see if they wind up pulling us back when he starts talking. We are at the top of standard deviation. We have a 68% probability now of it to crash. This live stream looks like that I posted inside this chat. Looks like it's going to start in real time. Just be aware, guys, when I post some things in there like Bloomberg or some of these like Associated Press and stuff like that we get from when they talk about Trump and stuff. Just realize that sometimes those streams have been running for like 12 hours or something, and when it starts up, it's going to start it at the beginning. So you need to take the little bar and push it all the way to the end to go to real time. In case we have that. This one here looks like it's going to fire up right when it's supposed to start, when they actually start doing it, because it's got a countdown. So if you wonder why I post these things and it's like it's not even about the commentary, it's probably because you're watching something for possibly 12 hours ago or something. Doesn't want to start it at the time that we started. It starts it at the beginning of the stream started, basically. All right, we're coming up to the money zone right here. Anytime they do something like this ahead of time, it's usually a strong possibility we get the complete damn opposite direction whenever the actual commentary starts up. Very, very rarely we run like this and then we continue running after the commentary. kind of like they're doing the last minute they can. And see, a lot of people are chasing this shit. They're going to buy up here high, and then when he starts talking, this thing starts crashing, and they're going to be trying to bail the hell out, and it becomes, everybody's falling on top of themselves trying to get the hell out. So we're at the expected high range of today's levels on the SPY right now. Everything else is a downside move at this point, unless some new data points come in to contradict what I've seen in pre-market. So you can understand when I say point of least resistance when we're basically above the cash flow, how important it is to make sure you stay in that direction. The guys that are basically, like I said, taking that one trade a day, you're on your worst trade right here, and you should be locking in at this point. There is the potential secondary trade if we get a crash, but you got to be careful. And technically, you shouldn't be trying to short it until we crash 635, 60 on the SPY, or we start cracking down below 63.90 on the ES to get confirmation. Now, of course, the smart move would be trying to short up here when we start getting a sign that we're actually going to be starting to pull back. Problem is that when he starts speaking, you may not have time for you to be making that split second decision because the algos can move literally down 20 handles in just within an instant. Now, just because we come up to break the standard deviation does not mean that we cannot not go higher. It's just the probability has been dramatically reduced. Remember, 68% of the time we stay inside a standard deviation. But today does warrant a potential breakout parabolic move that could break us up and actually push us up to higher levels than this. So it's not a guarantee that we have a short, just that we have a higher probability that we will pull back. I don't count on breakouts. I don't count on parabolic moves. When they happen, it's wonderful. Today is probably the best day that we would have that to happen. With everything that's come through. And as we lead into Sunday, Monday, we'll be in a completely different environment than we are moving into from yesterday's close. So today could be the first day of the start. All right. The speech that he should be given today, it should be just exactly that, just a speech. I don't believe they're going to be doing any Q&A on this. basically off of this off of memory. What it's basically just an. We have another Fed speaker is going to be talking at 11:32 on CNBC. Trump is going to be making an announcement at 12 noon. Surprise! Every time Powell gets up to talk, he seems to have an announcement the same day. Um, I don't believe in coincidences on that. And then we have our Baker Hugh rig count coming in at 1 o'clock. That's all we have on the calendar. So once basically Powell gets out of the way, should have a free for all today.
It's a trap!
They're saying, "Oh shit, it's pulling back." Yep. A minute, 90 seconds out. And so far, everything's coming in as planned. Basically, what was saying we'd be looking for. So let's see if we get a flash crash now.
I should have gone in heavier on the downside.
Don't get too anxious here yet. They can still whip it around. I think we got all day to make money, so I'm not too concerned. I honestly don't expect this market to just to go sideways. It'd be pretty surprising. This is all the statements coming in. This is not him talking yet. Definitely sounds hawkish, but we need to have him talk in front of the mic to get confirmation. So right now, these are just algos right now doing the display. 6,500 flats in the resistance point right now. Stacio came in at 64.50. Internet is really kind of bogging with the way this market's moving. That or these screen shares are killing this system. Discord is dragging my system down again. All right, XACOs came in at 65. This is a prime example, guys, where you don't go against those damn signatures and blocks. Gotta wait till they cross below them again to take the opposite direction. But saying don't be shorting it. I think he's feeding right into Trump's hands and saying everything he's saying right here. Try and get a little bit of slippage right here. 63 set 25 last ACO. Right now the algos have kind of gotten what they got. This is what we need to start looking for the real move coming in, especially when he stops talking here. The expectations of him talking is about 8 minutes. We're almost there. 71 last ACO. No blocks coming in yet on the spy. Fucking a lot longer than it did last time. Go for 65-25, right around that ballpark area. Low side 23.75. You're gonna lock some in at 6,500 flat. So lock some in at 6,500 flat and get room to 65.25. Remember, guys, we're still looking for the big picture of the SPY running up to 70. That's going to be the primary objective that we're going to be looking for going into next week at this point, now that we're getting into this bullish and we got basically the starting of the new flow of traffic. So we're going to be moving into probably instead of this kind of boxed range, I believe we're going to be more into a positive trend range, at least temporarily, leading into let's get say leading into Nvidia to start with, and then going into the actual Fed announcement. So we have a good probability of leading into the Fed announcement next month that we could be buying the rumor and then selling the news if that could be taking place. Let's look for a positive uptrend at this point unless conditions start changing. We are officially moving into a new phase. Yes, the big picture. Starting a cycle here. No new updates on any of the flows, so everything should still be intact. 71 was the last report. what I don't want to see is it crash back down to 6390 because then that kind of screws this whole mojo up here. Who cares? Oh, that's right, the young people. I've lived half a century without TikTok. I think I can go another half a century without it. Pulling back down to a support area here. Cycle back a little. Start serious. Going to get serious on the pullback. Holds its area and current back around. Getting some sweeps coming in on CO at 70 flat. I was like, about ready to wrap it up. Wow. All right, Pal's done at this point. Trump's still talking though. Surprise, surprise. All right, looks like we're getting our second wind a little bit. Not to get real aggressive to pop the high, though. Kind of flounder back and forth, coming up to resistance. So 72. Okay, guys, you see this? Turn on these regression channels here so you can see a little bit more clearly. Moved up to the second standard deviation range of the regression off the large picture. We're tapping the bottom range of that right now. So we're going to have a build to break through that. When we break through that, that's when we start going into trend phase. Start trying to climb up to this little dotted line that's kind of taking place up here around this area. So if we went straight up right now, you'd be looking at right around 62 ES. We went straight up. We're not going to probably be able to go that far necessarily since we ran all the way up here. It is 100 handles this morning. Remember, we run 100 handles. That's usually about it. 150 handles on the extreme side. So if we can get a good build right here today, not drop below this red pullback line around 47, then we can curl this thing back around and try to penetrate through that and possibly get another 50 handles on the high side. But it's because it's early on. But we're at a strong resistance range right now, so we have to have accumulation build for this around this 50 handle range right here, be able to push into the larger aspect ratio. Be careful up here a little bit. We're getting a kind of a cross between a diamond and a head and shoulders here on the top range. It's happening right here. For it to be a diamond and a head and shoulders, because then it can still go up higher again. I'm gonna have to separate these charts, this regression and these bands, because it's getting confusing for y'all guys. It's just because it looks like an etch a sketch. Do some stuff out of here we're not using. Problem when you have only 4 screens transmit on you, limited desktop space. I did say that the parabolic status, if we were going to get one, we were going to get one today, was a perfect setup, perfect storm scenario, and here we are. Didn't have any other type of buildup with all this data and stuff. We wind up just being in that sideways box action of that 10 handles, 10 points I was talking. which is usually the case in most environments. Got a whole lot going on today. And we got another Fed speaker talking in CNBC an hour from now, a little less than an hour from now. And Trump's supposed to be talking at 12 noon again. this thing. Discord. I can use it. Discord just drags the shit out of bogs this computer down so bad. It's a high end system too.